Carolina Hurricanes finally won their first ECF game for the first time in 19 years. Since 2006, they have finally put that streak to rest. And you just had to figure it was against the Florida Panthers. Couple of problems with this team, right? They switched up the line, the third line, the fourth line, and it didn't work. Second problem is their offense was very lackluster. Very disappointing offense from the Florida Panthers. And when they do shoot the puck, they get blocked. Most of every single time. You knew it was going to happen. I think everybody knew it was going to happen. And it was inevitable that the Hurricanes were going to avoid the sweep. It was inevitable. Hell, I even said that in my predictions. It's Sergei Bobrovsky, which I'm really surprised he got 3 stars. Although then again, the 2 goals that happened were empty netters. So, hey, he had a terrific game, I guess. But the offense let him down. That part is for sure true. It's Sergei Bobrovsky going up against Frederik Andersen, who is back in the goaltending for the Carolina Hurricanes. And he had a way better game than normal. 20 save shutouts. In the first period, scoreless. It was a scoreless first period. No puck was able to get to the back of the net at all. Ekblad, Verhaeghe, Aho, Bennett, Tkachuk, Orlov, Jankowski, Slavin. None of the pucks were going to the back of the net. None of them. Jackson Blake, after a Barkov tip-in, which was saved by Anderson, Blake's penalty was a slashing against Barkov. So Florida goes on the first power play of the game. Matthew Tkachuk with the wrist shot that was stopped by Frederik Andersen. This power play is killed off. That power play was easily killed off. Eric Robinson, maybe just stop right there. Eric Robinson with the wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. And then a penalty. Once again, Jackson Blake with the slashing call against Nate Schmidt. But Nate Schmidt, this is clearly a retaliation penalty. And he took the penalty after Jackson Blake took the slashing call. It was after. Very stupid of Nate Schmidt. Very stupid. Because what you did was you nullified the power play that you were given a power play. You were going to have a power play. And then you absolutely wasted it by hitting Jackson Blake after the whistle or close to the whistle. Like, really? Is that smart? So what should have been a power play turns into a 4-on-4. And no shot on target happened in the 4-on-4. And with that, the first period comes to a close. 0-0. Second period. Brett Burns with the snapshot that was stopped by Bobrovsky to start off the shot talking for the Carolina Hurricanes. Seth Jones took a hooking penalty against Sebastian Aho. That was a strange penalty right there. Very strange penalty. So Carolina goes on the power play. The one shot on target that Florida's given up was Gostisbehere's wrist shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. And this power play is killed off. So pretty good kill right there. And then 5:25, everybody... I'm beside myself every flipping time this happens. Jordan Staal hooks Matthew Tkachuk. Clearly, I thought it was a trip, but it's a hooking call. Either way, it's a Carolina penalty. But then they called embellishments on Matthew Tkachuk. Embellishment. Are you stupid? I mean, you think Rodriguez embellishment was bad? Actually, scratch that. Rodriguez embellishment was worse. This one was close. Personally, to me, if you're going to call that embellishment, you might as well call every frippin' player that was hit down the ice embellishment too. He was clearly hooked. He was clearly brought down, or at the very least, tripped. How are you going to call that embellishment? That's stupid. It is a stupid call by the officials, and I don't know why they called it, and they called it really quickly, too. So pathetic, man. Anyway, the only shot on target came from that 4-on-4 was Brad Marchand's wrist shot. That was stopped by Anderson. And that's at least for the Panthers. Kotkaniemi with the slap shot, that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Then, what should have been a power play is 4-on-4. That penalty is killed off. Logan Stankoven with the wrist shot, that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Rodriguez with the wrist shot, that was stopped by Anderson. And in the 10:45, after Kulikov hitting Jordan Staal, that ends up in the stick of Nikishin, and that puck ends up in the sticks of Stankoven, and you know the rest. Nikishin's first assist of the playoffs, and off the snapshots, Logan Stankoven's 5th goal of the playoffs. I mean, really, that's a tough one to give. Really tough one to give for the Florida Panthers defense, and we're down a point. And there's still hope. There's still hope to get the puck into the back of the net. Right? Well, Matthew Tkachuk with the wrist shot that was stopped by Anderson. A lot of offsides towards the tail end. And also, Brett Burns with the cross-check penalty on Carter Verhaeghe. Florida goes on a power play, and they do nothing with this power play. In fact, what they did was allow a shorthanded goal, a shorthanded chance by Sebastian Aho, which was stopped by Bobrovsky. And that penalty would carry over to the third period. And you know the rest. Kulikov with the roughing penalty on Stankoven. I mean, that is so obvious of a call. That part you have to make that call. You can't just grab someone and then slam them down the ice like that. I mean, come on, dude. We're better than that. So Carolina goes on yet another power play. This power play is killed off, so nothing to complain here. Kulikov with the wrist shot that was stopped by Anderson. Nikishin with the slashing penalty on Lundell. So Panthers go back on the power play, and they allowed a shorthanded chance very quickly. Jacob Slavin with the slap shot that was stopped by Bobrovsky. Aaron Rodriguez with the wrist shot that was stopped by Anderson. Nate Schmidt with the wrist shot that was stopped by Anderson. That penalty is killed off. And 6:27 in the third period, Mark Jankowski would score on this play after the power play ended. However, there was a challenge for offside, and they've determined that Eric Robinson was offside. So that call was disallowed for offside. Jankowski would not get credited for that goal. So good challenge there, and you could see Paul Maurice really a smug look that, it's clearly. So anyway, after that, Stankoven with the high stick against Lou Serenen. Florida goes on a power play. During this power play, Evan Rodriguez with a tip-in, which was stopped by Anderson, of course. Sebastian Aho with the shorthanded chance that was stopped by Bobrovsky at the wrist shot. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. They either keep getting blocked, or they're just not shooting the puck, or they're missing the net. Like literally begging them to do something because they're not shooting the puck much. So yeah, I feel the Hurricanes fans. I was joking in game 2, but now the karma's becoming to like, yeah, fuck you too. By this point, 17 minutes into the third period, Bobrovsky came off the ice, and they allowed two empty net goals. One of which was by Sebastian Aho. He's assisted by Seth Jarvis. That's his 9th assist of the playoffs. And Svechnikov with his 3rd assist of the playoffs. And by the way, Svechnikov with a really great game. He was all over the place, playing good hockey, and you couldn't stop him. You just couldn't stop Svechnikov. And off the wrist shot, Sebastian Aho's 5th goal of the playoffs. And another goal, literally 26 seconds later. It's Jordan Staal, the brother of Eric Staal and Mark Staal. Yeah, those two Staal brothers were part of the 2022-2023 team that also went to the Stanley Cup final. He's assisted by Brett Burns. That's his 4th assist of the playoffs. And Jordan Stahl's 2nd. Yeah. 1924, there was a roughing call against Gajovic. He was tossed out of this game. that penalty would be served by Rodriguez, and that's pretty much it. I'm done talking about this game, honestly. And folks who complain about the officials, I get it. I totally get it. I think the officiating was a little bit wonky, but it's no excuse to say that it's the referee's fault. That's why we lost this game. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Although I would have loved to see the penalty shot. It was clearly a penalty shot, especially from Nikishin. That was clear. That should have been a penalty shot. I agree. Liddell was clearly going after the goal net. He was slashed in the process of trying to shoot the puck. That should have been a penalty shot. Why isn't it a penalty shot? And another question is, how come one of our guys can beat strips from Frederick Anderson in the second period, but you don't give a damn? How do you not call that? And once again, I'm going to emphasize this. They're not the reason why we lost this game. The reason why we lost this game is we didn't provide Bobrovsky the offensive support. He had no goal support in this game. This game was on the offense. So on the offense. They had chances, and they're not shooting the puck more than they should. Only 20 shots on target. And when they do shoot the puck, they're blocking the shots. Okay, fine, you can say that. However, they had many times they had the puck towards a break. They didn't score. Or not only they didn't score, they didn't shoot. Why aren't we shooting the puck? Anyway, power plays, both teams with power play chances that were just never. Special teams became a little bit of a factor, especially for the Florida Panthers. See, for the Florida Panthers, in first couple of games, they're scoring power play goals, and also too, same with Carolina, they're scoring power play goals in the third game. But the special teams were a problem, especially for the Florida Panthers, and especially since they allowed a couple of shorthanded chances from Sebastian Aho. It is game 4. You're not going to sweep them every single time. And we knew it. We knew it was going to happen. But my God, do not go back to that route from the Stanley Cup final. Do not. Because honestly, I cannot take that stress no more. Stars of the game, Logan Stankoven with 1 star with a go ahead or a first goal and a game-winning goal. 2 stars goes to Frederick Anderson with 26 shutout, and 3 stars they give it to Sergei Bobrovsky with 25 out of 26 saves, which is because he only gave up 1 goal. Technically, he only gave up 1 goal. The other 2 goals were empty netters, not his fault. Lack of goal support is what brings it down. So once again, this offensive performance was not good. It was not a good offensive support for the Bob. And also with Carolina, they finally did it. They were playing desperate hockey, and they deserved to finally conquer that streak. So, congrats to them. Congrats to them for finally doing something for the first time in 19 years. But chin up, get back to work, and finish it in Game 5, please. Because I cannot personally take a 3-0 comeback again. So that's going to do it with this one. I'm done talking about this. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for content, because Miami TJs are back. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which is also a terrible video. Good night.